I like to support the people around me. By the way, I'm hostage right now. I'm being held at gunpoint and being forced to read this.
I was an intern for Conan O'Brien my junior year, and I was his script intern. And I can be very honest, he's one of the greatest human beings you'll ever meet. He is so kind and so genuine.
There was a time where Conan, they would use interns to stand in for certain sketches.
You having a good time as an intern so far?
Yeah.
Are you new?
I'm new, yeah.
He's doing something with like the interns where he's going up and talking to them, treating them like audience members for later, and none of them are looking at him.
You know me, I am a pathologically chatty person who likes to get to know people, say hi. I noticed that none of the interns would look at me. And I thought, oh, they must really hate my comedy. They must really despise me. And then I found out after like 2 years that it was a holdover from the previous late night regime. You're not supposed to look at the host.
Oh, right. And he finally goes, why does nobody look at me in the eyes?
Were you told not to make eye contact with me in the hallway?
Yeah, I was.
Were you really?
Well, no.
And it's because they were all told, like since the New York days, don't look Mr. O'Brien in the eyes, don't engage him, don't do this. And he called whoever started that, it was not Conan, and he called it out.
Don't annoy
Is that true? What do they say?
They just say don't.
I always want to know.
Don't-
I'm always trying to talk to the interns, and they always back away. Do they say that? Don't talk to me? What do they say?
Well, don't get in your way, kind of.
Don't get in my way. When he's going up to the third floor to play the bass and annoy the writers, don't get in his way.
And he goes, okay, everybody here, you can look at me. He goes, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
when did that start? I knew that was happening because people are just running in the walls.
I've been on his show. I was just on his show last night. So I was his intern, so I knew his whole crew, his whole operation. And as I'm walking down the hallway, I'm seeing all these people who used to be my boss now clapping and saying welcome and congratulations. I get to the blue curtain back on the 12:30 slot in MEC, and they pulled the curtain, and I blacked out. Don't remember anything until Conan was shaking my hand and pushed me into the couch and said everything's gonna be fine. You can see that I actually end up tearing up because at the end, he takes a moment in the segment to say how proud he is of me, and I'll never forget it.
I'm pretty good at sometimes pretending to be a good guy.
One of our favorite remotes, too, involved you going to Taco Bell headquarters.
One of my favorites.
I wanted to do a nice thing for you because I make people's dreams come true. I'm the TV host that...
I know you, and that's most likely Ellen that does that.
You think more Ellen than me. That's fair.
You were brought there as a gift to you because Conan knew that you loved it so much.
Yes.
But you got to go to Mecca, to Taco Bell headquarters.
In Irvine, I think.
Yeah.
In Orange County, somewhere.
It was truly a gift.
Do you get like an abandonment at all? Do you feel like, oh shit, he can't leave me? Do you get attached to some of these guys?
I totally. I always, on an intellectual level, I really do want people I've worked with to thrive.
I only found this out recently is you almost quit after your first week.
Because I was a stand-up. I was used to going to bed at 7 in the morning, not being at work at 7 in the morning.
Right.
Then one day, they was writing a sketch. It's called Oktoberfest. I was like, what the hell is Oktoberfest? They was like, oh, it's a German drinking day. We're gonna do this bit with Andy. I was like, everybody got a drinking day. Germans, Mexicans, Irish. Why there ain't no black drinking day?
Yeah.
Mike Sweeney was like, write it up.
Actually, Sweeney typed it up for me. Typed it, and we sent it. And then we sent it for Conan to say it. And Conan was supposed to say it. And then rehearsal, Conan read it and was like, nah, let him do it. So now I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, yo, like, how I'm gonna do it? And they was like, come out of the curtain and do it.
So please welcome Mr. Dion Cole.
Thanks, Conan. I realized something recently. Every ethnic group has its own drinking day. The Germans have Oktoberfest, the Hispanics got Cinco de Mayo, the Irish have Everyday Day. So I just want to know, being a black African-American man, where's our day? Happy Black Drinking Day.
And I went out and I did it, and the next thing I know, TV guy said a star was born.
Isn't that nice?
Like, wow,
That's nice.
look at that.
That's a nice story.
I want my friends to thrive almost in self-interest. You know, the way Sid Caesar had all these amazing people around him, I always thought that would be great. I want that.
I came up to him and I said, I want to write a book. I want to call it The World's Worst Assistant. Are you cool with this? And he's like, not only am I cool with it, I'll write the foreword, send it to my agent, see if they can set you up with an agent to shop it around. So he was super, super supportive.
I want to say something from the bottom of my heart. I would not be here if it was not for Conan.
And then as the book was coming out, I was like, what am I doing? I'm completely capitalizing on the success someone else achieved.
Yeah.
And it made me very uncomfortable.
Conan is a guy that doesn't do things traditionally. Conan's the kind of guy like real men do. He sit back with you and he talk to you and he see what kind of guy you are and he hire you just like that.
And that I had a breakdown and I talked to Conan. I was like, how are you okay with this? How are you okay with me taking all these years that you spent working hard and then me sort of like sucking at the teat of your celebrity for my own gain? It made me feel really uncomfortable.
But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of feeling, just vibing with people. Everything don't have to be traditionally done. It was strictly me and him talking like men and having a good time. And he went, I want to hire you.
And he was like, it's a book you wrote and you should be proud of it. And, it's a fun book. And he talked me off the ledge.
You can't put extraordinary people in traditional boxes. And this man right here is extraordinary.
As your employee, and I think I speak for a lot of people who work on your show, it has been one of the, it has been just the best place to work. You're a great boss. This is actually, I'm being sincere.
No,
and that's right. A lot of people have worked on this show since the very beginning.
I worked with him for 7 years before I had kids. It is at times like having him around is like having a kid because it's like, yeah, okay, there he goes. Yeah, and you've heard it 1,000 times, and it's like, you just kind of have to tune out. But he also is very real.
Eduardo, who's done a wonderful job designing this studio. He's our engineer. Yeah. He's got 3 different screens. We just took a peek. He's watching soccer.
2 games.
He's watching 2 games simultaneously.
Did someone just score? You got really excited.
I didn't listen to a word Conan just said.
This is the guy monitoring the audio.
And he also kind of insists that the people around him be real.
Yes.
Which is very unusual.
So I started out as Conan, your production assistant.
Right.
And Sona one day told me if I'm ever just waiting at my desk for her to tell me to do something, it's fine if I watch TV.
Yeah.
Don't fire me for saying this, but I sat at my desk and binged 14 seasons of Grey's Anatomy.
Wow.
Is Grey's Anatomy still on?
Yeah, they just got renewed.
It's amazing that show is still on. If I had known, I would have said, your job's your job, and fuck soccer. I'm sorry. No, I feel badly. You are allowed to keep watching the game, and will you update us if anything happens?
I will update you. There's like 3 minutes left.
I believe people should stand up for themselves. If you had come to me, Eduardo, seriously, and said, I really want to watch this game, we would have made an adjustment. What else do I have to do? I don't have young kids like Sona and Matt.
I think that a lot of people in that position of power, they create a world to their own liking.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He kind of did, but the world to his own liking includes people like me,
yes,
who can make fun of him and, poke at him.
You were a good boss, and you were very inclusive.
I remember us getting into it a few times.
Yeah, we got in a few fights, because we kind of could bully you.
I do definitely agree that it's so refreshing to work for a guy who is that accomplished and that talented, who doesn't surround himself with yes men.
There was one time where I yelled at you, and I just yelled at you in front of everybody, and then I cried like Jan Brady and ran out of the room. Like, you don't even know. You have no idea. And then I cried and ran out of the room, and then you called me at home, and you said, listen, I'm glad you feel like you can express dissent, and I want you to be able to say if you disagree, and we're okay when we go back to work in the morning. You were really cool. You're very nice.
Clearly, I should have fired you.
I've seen you be very honest with him, even if it's something he doesn't want to hear. Mike Sweeney, his head writer, Matt O'Brien, his other head writer. I mean, he's surrounded by people who just tell him, and Jeff Ross, who just tell him the things that he needs to hear, even if it's something he doesn't want to hear. And that is very rare.
Anyone who knows me is immediately unafraid to tell me exactly what they think.
What's it like to work for someone you're scared of? I would never know that.
You know, this is your last day, and I want to say, and everyone's always asking me how you feel about this, and you know, we're just going to miss you.
I got really very attached to people, certain people, and when Andy Richter, he took out like a long hiatus from our show, I was devastated just because I loved the guy.
It's just been such a wonderful day and a wonderful 7 years, and you know, I'm not going to get mushy yet.
Right.
So.
You just read that off a card, by the way.
That's right.
If someone comes to me and says, look, I want to move on, I want to do this other thing, it's putting too much on them if I say, this devastates me. I really miss you, and this is hurting me. So I didn't do that with Andy.
That's our show for the night. I just wanted to say very quickly, it's just not easy to do, but it was, when I got this show, it was a very difficult time for me. It was a really big challenge, and I would not be here today if this guy hadn't made it so fun for me. And I love you, and I think we all love you very much, and we wish you the best.
You know, I went away for a while because I think a big part of it was like, I have to prove to myself I can do something than just be, you know, his guy, you know, like his, and, you know, and then I gladly came back to be his guy.
I mean, I let him know. He knows I love him. And I've told Andy I love you more times than I've told my wife I love her.
When the show ended, I wrote him a letter, and that was one of the things I said is like, the best gift you gave me was, I know how to make a TV show because you brought me into the process. You didn't keep me, you know, sitting there on the side to just be, you know, the guy that read the announcements and, you know, and then went hardy-har whenever he said something funny.
Yeah, we have a couple of people that have been with us. I mean, really, it's actually a shocking number. I would say there's a bunch of people that were with me in 1993, and I still talked, and they still work on the show, and I still talk to them every day. And that's pretty stunning. Like, we've all gone through so much together.
When our show transitions to the new half-hour format, our band will not be with us. I'm a student of late-night television, and I can say this with confidence. I've been graced with the most versatile, loyal, and joyously effervescent band in the history of television. They have been with me through all of the incredible highs and lows of late night these past 8 years at TBS. The Tonight Show.
After weeks of bitter and very public jousting with NBC executives, Conan O'Brien takes the stage tonight for the last time as host of The Tonight Show.
The $45 million settlement includes a $33 million payout to O'Brien, even though he quit, and $12 million for his staff, which he might supplement out of his own pocket.
So does that mean that you didn't get the big money pay? I've heard upwards of $47 million.
Honestly, this is the thing that, and it was immediately irritating to people that worked on the show. Because, I mean, from stagehands to producers, all these people moved from New York to California to be on this show. And a lot of the people, they're robbed of their contacts. So even in a downtime like this, they don't have the contacts that they would have here on the East Coast to go get work elsewhere. So Conan is putting a lot of his own money out there. He formed a little corporation just to pay people.
You know, I think people think a lot about, well, what will my legacy be? And I think the world has so much more important stuff to think about. Sona, you lost your house.
Yeah.
What can we do for you? You know you're loved. You've got all of us here. Money aside.
Oh.
Money and
I need money.
Money aside, food aside, clothing aside.
Oh.
Love and affection aside.
Love and affection aside. Sheltering you in any way at any one of my 19 mansions.
Any further contact aside.
Yeah. Is there anything I can do for you? And also, I'm letting you go.
Oh, no. There was a point where I might have even said to him, I was like, I love you as a friend. You're like a brother to me. I saw Nev and Beckett grow up. Him and Liza have been like so generous to me and so supportive of everything that if I continue working for you, then I'm going to lose you in my life as my friend. And that's more important to me now than working for you. And so that's when I thought that I was going to leave this show for a second.
Goodbye. Well, you know, being here at this memorial as
powerful and sort of overwhelmingly sad as it is, I just keep thinking about all the kids we've seen on this trip and how fantastic they are. I mean, they're gorgeous, but they're also funny and filled with life. I love you. Whatever you need, we'll all get you through this. And we are a family. And I'm including, oh God, Gorley.
Don't do it.
I'm going to do it. Adam, Eduardo, Blay. We are a family.
Yeah.
And also everyone who works here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. Now I'm starting to feel things.
Oh,
All right.
that's nice.
No, it's bad.
It's okay to feel.
Wow.
You should feel.
No. It was just gas. You gonna come back here with your friends, do you think?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to. With friends, with family, I'd love to come back. You can come too.
Really?
Yeah, I guess.